Welcome to the Vandal Insider Podcast, presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Get the latest information on University of Idaho athletics you won't find anywhere else. It's all here on the Vandal Insider Podcast, every fan source for all things Idaho athletics. Here's your host, Dennis Patchin.
Welcome to another edition of the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. On this week's edition, we'll talk with head coach Thomas Ford Jr. about the game in the Dome last Saturday with UC Davis and what is now left for the Vandals with 2 games to play. You'll also hear from freshman cornerback Caleb Ricks, who's had a breakout season as a true freshman. He'll join us. Also, Alex Terry will be here from the women's cross country team as the Vandal men and women get ready to head to Sacramento for the NCAA Regional Finals. And Ella Uriarte from the women's basketball program will be here to talk about her second year as a Vandal hooper. And swimmer of the week, Marie Mason, will be here to talk about life in the pool. Saturday, the Idaho Vandals came up short with a 28-14 losing score to 11th-ranked UC Davis, and with the loss, saw their playoff hopes come to an end. There were some big moments in the game. Receiver Michael Graves, who's battled injuries his whole Vandal career, had his best game at Idaho. Wood calling signals, takes a snap. Play fake to Thomas, steps up to avoid the rush. Now heaves it down the left side, deep ball. It is caught, one-handed by Michael Graves. Are you kidding me? His hand was being held by the defender. He caught it with one hand. Touchdown, Idaho! On the snap, looks, deep ball, got a man. It's Graves in the end zone. He caught it. Touchdown, Idaho! Second time in this game, the two have combined. A 35-yard catch, and the Vandals are back in it. The defense came up big as well. A pair of turnovers, including the first ever interception for freshman Caleb Ricks. Pennick with a play fake, deep ball down the left side, throws it into double coverage, and Ricks has got the interception at the 35-yard line. Breaks the tackle, is going to bring it up the left side across midfield of the 40. And then he got blasted out of bounds by the tight end, Ian Simpson, but not before the Vandals get a big turnover. Ty Graham calling for one, and he got one. 1st and 10 for Idaho. You'll hear from Ricks coming up a little bit later on, but there just wasn't enough big plays in the game. For head coach Thomas Ford Jr., he said he didn't like the results, but he loves his team.
You just look at the way we play. We've been in every single football game that we've played. We've lost no games by more than 2 possessions, and I think that tells you a lot about our group. We've had situations where we've gone down multiple scores and fought right back. We've had opportunities where teams could have easily put us away. I think about the Montana game all the time. A lot of places go into Missoula, you get down 3 scores, and that game gets to 5 scores pretty quick. But our kids just keep fighting, and I think that shows a lot about the belief they have in each other, and that's something that you can definitely build on. When players believe in each other, players believe in the program, you can certainly build on that, and I think that mental toughness portion has really been shown in those times, right? This is really hard. This opponent is getting after us right now, and they have not done anything in terms of backing down. Those guys are going to keep fighting until there's no time left.
The struggles last week in the loss to Davis was on converting 3rd and 4th downs. Ford says that has to change.
We've got to do a better job on conversion downs, and we've got to do a better job in the red zone. Those are 2 areas that we've really struggled this season, and we're going to make some changes to make sure that we can improve on those things. But that's really ultimately where I think offensively we've got to improve. If it really doesn't matter anything else. Schematically, if we can't convert on 3rd down and we're putting our defense out there 2 or 3 series more than they need to be, that's going to be tough for them. It's going to be a physical toll and a mental toll. And so we've really got to do a great job staying on the field. And when we get into that red zone area, we got to score touchdowns.
Sac State is a team that is fighting for a playoff spot. The Vandals can play spoilers this weekend, but to do that, they must stop the run.
They got 3 or 4 kids in that tailback room that could play for probably anybody in our league. That's probably what stands out the most. And then, Coach Marion, he's creative. He's going to find different ways to get those guys the ball. He's going to get 2 of them on the field at times. And I just think that they do a really nice job up front. They're physical, and they're kind of a group that has that mentality. They want to grind you. And obviously when you have good offensive linemen, good running backs, they've definitely been able to do that to some teams.
And if Idaho is going to leave Sacramento with a victory, it will take a full 60-minute effort on defense.
Coach Dennis and I were talking about it this morning. It's really, you got to prepare like it's a street fight, right? No, there's no rules, right? You got to go in there with that type of mentality that you're going to go in for a 12-round fight, and you've got to keep punching until there's no more time left. And I think our younger players have that mentality, and they're continuing to develop that mentality. And I think the confidence that they've built, especially over the last 4 games, has been huge. And so that's going to be really paramount to us, stopping that run game and trying to make them put the ball in the air.
But it will be more than just that for the Vandals. Idaho is going to have to play well on both sides of the ball to leave with a win.
I always lean on our offensive line. I think that's been our group that's been very consistent all season. And, they've got a massive front. They've got a couple of, I think they probably about 4 guys that are, over 6'3", over 300 pounds on that interior. And so I think that matchup's going to be one to really look for. I think the matchup with our quarterback and their secondary is another one to really look for. And then, again, we've talked about it a lot, but just our defensive front 7 against that offensive line and running backs is going to be crucial.
Vandal fans may think with no playoffs, there's nothing to play for. But Ford says there's a lot to play for, and it starts with his seniors.
Let's send these seniors out on a high note. Our senior class has really been a part of something special here, really turning the program into something that is competitive every year, something that is going to get the other team's best effort every time we play. And I think that those building blocks that they have really set for this program is huge, and I want to send those guys out on a high note.
As the Vandals get ready for the final 2 games of the year, they can finish at 500 with a pair of victories. But Ford knows no matter what the outcome of those final 2 games is, his team has made progress this year.
You only lose if you don't learn. And if you continue to make the same mistakes, well, that's coaching. And I think we're just making different mistakes. We're certainly not perfect, far from it. And obviously this year has been disappointing in the aspect that we're not a playoff team. But I also look at our roster and see the growth that we've made. And I look at that kind of nucleus of guys that are second, third-year guys. Those guys will all be back. The only difference this time is they'll have 500 to 1,000 snaps under their belt, depending on which kid it is. And I think we still have really put together a lot of key building blocks for the future of this program.
The Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. As the Vandals team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor cares for elite athletes, weekend warriors, and everyone in between. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. We are now joined by an outstanding freshman on the Idaho football team, cornerback Caleb Ricks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed to be here and be on this podcast with you.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on this week. You fit right in from the day you got on campus. How did you do that? Because most freshmen are either not playing or standing on the sidelines. You've been there since day one.
I'll probably just say by the grace of God, I developed a great relationship with my teammates and my coaches. Film study, all that all those sorts of things helped me get on the field and just believing in God, really, just trusting in Him and having faith that I would get on the field.
Yeah, well, the good Lord helped, but talent helps too, right?
Yes, sir, for sure.
So I heard the story that you were not very highly recruited coming out of your high school in Louisiana. Tell me that story.
Yeah, coming out of high school, I had 3 D1 offers to Southeastern here. This was my first offer coming out of high school. But Southeastern,
Louisiana,
okay. Yeah, Louisiana, yeah. Hampton and here. And then I also had Louisiana Christian University. I also had Millsaps, yeah.
Okay.
Other one, yeah.
So not exactly SEC Big Ten schools.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you pick Idaho out of that group?
I'll mainly say, Treston DeCoud and Coach Ford, they were the first ones to believe in me. Treston DeCoud, he's from Louisiana. He's played in the league. And that's my goal, just to play in the NFL. And he was the first one to really believe in me and give me the opportunity. And it just really meant something to me when they gave me that call and they just believed in me in December. you know, it just meant something different from the other schools. You know, it just felt like they had really believed in me more than the other schools. That's what I said.
Your brother is in the National Football League. He's a Super Bowl champion with Philadelphia. Did he help you in the recruiting process, kind of help you not necessarily pick the school, but what to look for and how to play all this out?
For sure, yeah. You know, just having that role model in my life, I think it definitely helped me go to camps, you know, and how to do things, you know, to get looked at, get recruited, and, you know, just to make it to the D1 level. You know, I think he definitely helped me throughout this process for sure.
Sometimes little brothers don't listen to big brothers, right?
Yes, sir.
You know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, so you must have listened to him
Yes.
through this process, right?
For sure, yes, sir.
When Idaho called you, said we're interested in you, we'd like to offer you a scholarship, did you know where Idaho was? Did you know where Moscow was?
Yeah, I knew about Idaho. I've been to Boise before.
Okay.
But I've never been to Moscow. So this was my first time being to Moscow. The only time I've been in Idaho was Boise.
What were you doing in Boise?
I remember I seen the it was for a camp. I think I was going to like one of my brother's camps. I think he had went to a Boise camp or something like that, and I got to see their first turf, that blue turf for the first time. It was kind of unique, you know.
Well,
but I got to see that for the first time. Yeah.
And now that you're an Idaho Vandal, you know you have to hate Boise. It's written in your scholarship agreement, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
just making sure of that.
Yeah.
How you know, I find the way you play, and the fact you're 6'1", a cover corner at 195 pounds. I'm stunned that you didn't get offers closer to home or bigger offers.
Yeah.
Were you?
You know, I wasn't. I was under recruited, you know, but I just, you know, I'm just following God's plan. You know, whatever it is for me, you know, whatever His plans for me, I'm just following it. You know, whatever it is. I think I was definitely under recruited coming out of high school, but you know, whatever His plan is for me, I'm just trusting and believing in that. You know.
Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people from Louisiana don't know where Moscow is. So none of us in Idaho know where Gonzales,
yes.
Louisiana. Where is Gonzales, Louisiana?
It's a small town. It's kind of in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. It's like a small town. It's about like 30 minutes out from Baton Rouge and New Orleans. It's like right in the middle.
You're right.
It's like small.
So somebody says go halfway. They're stopping in.
They're stopping in Gonzales.
Did you play at a small school?
Yes, Santa Mara High School. It's a small town, a small city.
How many kids are in your graduating class? 100? Less than 100? 200?
It had to be more than 100 for sure.
Okay, all right.
It was a lot. It's a public school. A lot of kids go there for sure.
Okay. When you got on the field for that very first game, what was that feeling like as a true freshman starting in the first game, starting in the first college football game that you're playing in?
I'll probably say, you know, I just felt blessed. You know, I felt like God's presence was on me through it all. You know, I just felt blessed and honored just to be out there and just to play on that field for sure.
Were you nervous?
Be
honest.
I'm sure, you know, everybody has those little, you know, butterflies at the start, but, you know, after a couple of drives, you know, I kind of got a good feel for it, you know, got comfortable throughout the game.
Well,
sure.
you guys only gave up.
Yeah, we only gave up 10 points.
Yeah.
13 points.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So, did you walk off the field going, this is easy?
Nah, I wouldn't say it was easy. It's just, I think, you know, our coaches, they just came up with a great game plan. And I think they just probably underprepared for us, and we just, you know, came out and showed who we are.
You are, you lead the team in pass breakups. When people look at rosters and see true freshmen starting at corner, they have a tendency to pick on that guy. Are you seeing less people throw at you as the season goes on?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes, I think I've definitely have not getting thrown at as much this year, especially at the start of the season. I don't think I really got thrown at a lot, and it's honestly kind of surprising, you know, because like you said, you're a true freshman. Usually, you know, they want to go at him, you know, see what he's about. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yes, sir.
You got an interception last week.
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
I felt, you know, blessed. You know, God's presence was on me. I prayed for it. You know, I've been praying for this whole season for it. And, you know, I'm just truly blessed and honored to have it. You know. Tell
me the thought process as you see the ball in the air, because it wasn't one of those.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like it's up there. I mean, what was going through your head? Was it like, I've got to catch this, or was it don't drop it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna catch this. I was gonna jump for it, but once he had like fell to the ground, I was just like, okay, I'll just catch it. He was I was gonna jump for it, but once he had fell to the ground, I was like, just catch it.
Yeah.
Just look at it.
So did you play offense in high school? At
no,
all?
sir. Nope. Only defense.
Seriously?
Yes, sir.
Because you looked like a guy who had played receiver before
Yeah,
the way you returned that.
I've trained for receiver before with Coach Charlie Collins. I've trained at DB with Coach Derek Stingley. They really helped me get to this point. I really thank them for all that they've done for me. But yeah, I've never. At my high school, they didn't do both ways. It was public school. They weren't going for both ways.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, because I'm thinking on the broadcast, that guy's played some receiver before. He knows what he's doing with a football in his hand.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, your brother plays in the NFL. Are you hoping to play in the NFL? I mean, you're so young in your college career. Mm-hmm. You got 3 more years after this. Where are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I think my goal is to play in the NFL. That's my ultimate goal. Whichever path that is that God has for me, I'm going to just follow that, I'm going to train hard, work hard, and just do my best to get there. That's my ultimate goal, to play in the NFL.
You had a couple of schools close to you offer you.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
you had Idaho that's
way
away.
Yes,
How'd that go with your mom when you told her where you were going?
I think they weren't like so much on like, oh, like staying home like is the best option. They were more just like whatever is best for me, and I really appreciate them for that. They're really more for like me and my brother, just like picking whatever is best for us. It don't matter if it's across the country, across the nation, whatever it is. They're just focused on whatever is best for us. It was just the best opportunity for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She probably had to be a little sad though, right?
Yeah, she was a little sad, that I was moving away, but I think them being able to come to each game every week, I haven't really got too homesick for them. So yeah.
Are you the baby?
Yes, I'm the baby brother.
Okay, so that's
I'm
even harder. That's the baby's moving away. Exactly.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about being here at Idaho. Obviously, this is your first semester in college. Mm-hmm. Is it what you thought it would be? Not football-wise.
School-wise.
And all the things that go with going to college.
Yeah, I mean, I've adjusted. I think I've adjusted really well. I love my classes. I love the university. It's really beautiful here. I like the people. I think I've built a great brotherhood. I like how I came in the summer just to, kind of get a feel for it, to see how the campus is, see how things are around here. I built a great brotherhood with my teammates and met a lot of great new people,
Yeah.
For sure. I think it's better than what I expected. Yeah.
So this is your first year here.
Mm-hmm.
How much snow did you see in Louisiana?
I've only seen snow once. It was in January. It was like first time in a while. It was only seen it once, but it was very thick snow. But I'm sure I'm gonna have to get used to that out here. I heard it snows crazy out here.
How long did it take? How long was it when you saw it? How long did it last? Was it gone that day, or was it around for a day or two?
It was like It was like just a bad storm. It lasted for I'll probably say like a week.
Okay.
Week, yeah.
That's okay.
Week or two.
Because you're going to get 3 months here.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna get crazy. I'm probably not gonna be able to ride my scooter to work out.
No, you're not.
It's gonna be crazy.
You're not.
Yeah.
You got a coat?
Yeah, I'm. My parents they make sure I'm ready. We've ordered a bunch of warm clothes. I'm definitely prepared.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll have a good time.
For sure.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
What are you studying? What do you want to do when football's over?
Business. That's what I'm studying right now. It's my major. I probably want to do something in business. Probably own one of my parents' businesses. Like if they open up something, just run that. And just try to make money off of that. Just run a business. That's the thing I would say.
Well,
sure.
I think the way you're playing in your freshman year at Idaho, the business is not going to happen for you for a while. I think there's some football in your future
for sure
coming down the way. Caleb Ricks, we appreciate the time. Thanks. Continued success.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the last 2 games of the season, and we appreciate you coming on our podcast.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Ricks and the rest of the Vandals will be on the road for the final time this week as they head to Sacramento for a Saturday night game with the Sac State Hornets. Kickoff is at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Mountain. Our coverage will start 1 hour earlier, 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, on the Idaho Vandals Radio Network. This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. When he's not caring for the Vandals as team physician, Orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor provides the same MVP orthopedic care to our entire region. And then in orthopedics, our team is your team. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. We are now joined by sophomore guard from the women's basketball team, Ella Uriarte. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We had you on the podcast last year. Did that make you famous? Could you go walk around the streets of Moscow and people wouldn't know who you were, or not so much?
Not so much.
Thanks a lot. You could have listened to people out there. Thanks for bursting the bubble. Let's talk a little bit about season 2. Last season you were a freshman. I'm sure your eyes were about as big around as saucers. Is it easier? You kind of know what to expect. Is it a situation where you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I think this year's like way easier. I just think as far as basketball goes, the reads you're looking for and all of that, like I understand more. I think as a freshman you think you have so much to prove every time. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so it's like one shot doesn't go, and I think it's the end of the world. And I think this year there's a little less pressure. Like, go out there, play, and see how it goes.
Do you think you put all that pressure on yourself because you were a freshman, and if I didn't make the right play or make every shot or do everything exactly correct, I'd be sitting back on the bench?
100%. I don't know. I think last year I knew that in order to get on the floor, I had to play good defense, be solid. And I think this year I have a little more wiggle room to play and just.
But is that in your mind? Because I don't think that was in the coaches' minds last year.
It's definitely my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just all confidence. I feel like I didn't have very much confidence this year, and I'm still trying to build it this year.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
How come? Because everybody I talked to said you were a great player in high school, a very confident person, I'll show you kind of person. What happened when you got here? Was it just, it's like, oh no, everybody else is a star too?
I don't know, maybe. I think coming, like, you build up to your senior year in high school, and then you get here and you're back to a freshman, and I think it's really like you're at the bottom, right? And you have so much to prove. Players are faster, stronger, better than in high school, and I think just trying to get to that same level and find that confidence has taken me a little while. But
you were 18 last year, you're 19 this year. Do you feel different?
No, I don't. Not really. I feel like I'm starting to mature a little. My mindset is definitely, I'm just starting to understand things better. But no.
Does that spill over to school too, and all that comes with going to college, not just basketball? Are you feeling like you fit better, or did you always think you fit education-wise at college?
Education-wise, I feel like I was fine. This year's been harder because my classes are harder, but I still feel like I'm doing fine. Like I'm fitting in, doing my best.
So Idaho's been the right fit for you.
100%. Everything about it. Like, as far as coaches, teammates, I've been so lucky. Like, even this year with a whole new transfer class, like, they're great. Like, we have so many good players, good teammates, and we're all friends. So it's awesome.
How's your Portuguese? Because I know there's a lot of Portuguese speakers on this team.
Gosh.
Are you learning words?
I know a couple words because
well, sure. Everybody learns the swear words first. I mean, no, I love that line because that's makes everybody laugh when somebody says that. But I mean, it's your coach is a Portuguese speaker, so I mean, but his English is better than mine. So I mean, that's got to be weird. It's probably weird in social settings more than on the basketball court, because at the basketball court you're just playing, you're not thinking. But if you're sitting across from somebody, it's like, okay, if I say this, are they going to understand what I'm going to say? Or even worse, I'm going to say it in one way, but they're going to take it a completely different way.
Yeah, I think we've got our, like, Deb and Lolo. Obviously, they're Portuguese speaking, but they have pretty good English.
Right.
So, like, that's never a problem. And then you got the Annas, who were my roommates. So I've always been around them speaking it. But No. It's like, I think this year it's honestly really good. Like, sometimes you'll hear them go off on their little thing, and I'm like, what'd you say? And they're like, oh, and they'll just tell me, but it's funny.
I bet you wouldn't have said that last year. I bet you just stayed quiet, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty, like, outgoing. I don't know.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Which is why surprising to me that you said, you were having, I don't want to say struggles, but you just weren't, because, again, you were a freshman again.
Yeah.
Was your freshman year in high school not good?
I feel like it was the same.
Okay.
Like,
Were you on the varsity as a freshman?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yes. And I started as a freshman, but, again, you just don't know what you can get away with and stuff, so I don't know.
I would think playing for Arthur, A, he's a pretty good coach to play for.
Yes.
And B, you can get away with some things as long as you're still doing it in the way he wants it done.
Oh, yeah. He gives everyone, like, you have a long rope. Like, and he says that. He says he's not just going to pull you after one mistake, and he means that. But it's just in my own head, honestly.
You didn't believe him last year, did you?
I mean, I don't know. You just want to be so perfect. You want to do things right. And sometimes that gets in the way.
This team, a lot of people are expecting a lot of good things from this team.
Yes.
How do you deal with that? And I don't know if you guys have talked about it all because we still have such a long way to go, but how do you deal with expectations? Last year nobody knew anybody on this team. It was 1,000 new people with a new coach, new coach and the whole thing. But everybody saw what you guys could do last year. You added more players. How do you deal with those expectations?
I think on the court you can't really tell that there's an expectation. Like, we're trying to get better every day. But I do know that we're always thinking that, like, we're chasing a championship. We want to win it. We think we can. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is just doing all the little things to continue to get better, and then when it comes time, we're ready.
Yeah, is that mindset good for you as an individual if there's a carrot in front of your nose?
I think it is. I think it's always good to chase something and to have a goal, and I think as an individual and as a whole, it's like really prominent that we think we're good enough, and we know we're good enough to win it. So
how do you deal with the travel and the missed class time?
I honestly love to travel.
Okay.
I think it's fun. I think it's a change of scenery and different. But as far as classes go, I think there's so much is online these days that it doesn't really affect it that much. I think making sure that the lectures you're supposed to be hearing in class, you make sure you're meeting with your teachers to understand when you get back. But I don't think it's that big of a deal.
And it's because, I've said this before, basketball players travel more than anybody, especially when you play Thursday, Saturday, because you're gone on Wednesday and you're not back many times until Sunday. That doesn't leave a lot of time for studying or going to class, so you got to figure out a way to make that up. Did you find that? Because that's not the way it is in high school.
Right.
In high school, you're playing, so you get on a bus and you travel after school's over. How did you adapt to making sure that you felt comfortable in the education setting where, especially the second semester here at Idaho, you're missing half your classes?
Yeah. I think you have so much time between bus rides. You have downtime in hotels. I think just making sure you're staying on top of it there and not getting distracted with all of your friends. There's always time to have fun, and then there's time where, okay, take an hour to just do your stuff.
Okay. Where do you like to study on the road?
In my bed.
Oh, no. I didn't. Is it when you wake up? Is it at lunchtime? Is it after practice? Is it after probably not after a game, but what's the sweet spot for you?
Probably after lunch, after a practice. So practice, then lunch, then probably study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easier to study on the road than it is at home?
I don't have as much time and as much I could do it this many times in that day.
Right.
But what else are you going to do? If I have nothing going on, let's do some homework.
I'll give you a list after we're done with this podcast of what a college person can do with free time. Let's talk a little bit about your study. Now, you told me before the podcast you're in business.
Yes.
Well, that's a shotgun blast. I mean, you got to figure out, you got to get to the rifle shot. So do you know, I mean, how is that transitioning for you as you're entering very soon your fourth semester here of 8?
Yeah. I don't know what I want to specify in business. I've been starting to look into all of my options and stuff. I think it's so hard because I don't know really what I want to do in the future. So trying to find something that speaks to me, there's nothing, But I'm considering maybe sales or management of some sort. I don't know.
You just nothing has jumped up at you and grabbed you by the neck and said, this is what you're going to do with the rest of your life.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Well, it'll come.
Yeah, it'll come.
It'll come. What are you 19?
19.
When's your birthday?
June 13th.
Oh, so you're young.
Yes.
You're young.
Yeah.
You graduated high school before you turned 20 or before you turned 18. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got plenty of time. Don't let them talk you out of that. Because you don't want to get trapped into something you don't want to do.
I know, but like you said, I need to start figuring it out.
Yeah, you got another year. You're fine. You got another year. There's some classes. There's some general business classes you can take. You got the last 2 years, the most important thing. Do you think you'd like to do? Obviously, because you're playing basketball, your outside time is limited, internships and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Do you think that might help you?
Yeah, I think if I could find an internship when I go home for the summer, that could help. But I don't know what I would be looking for in
right.
one, So
are your parents, any of them, involved in business?
Kind of, but not directly. I mean,
Okay.
my mom was in human resources. And then my stepdad, he is in the business world, but who knows?
So you decided that you didn't want to do what they are doing.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
You know what? It's going to come to you one day. It's going to
One day.
come to you.
I know. My mom asks me well, what do you enjoy? What do you want to do? And I'm like, well, what I like to do is travel. But unfortunately, not many jobs is just
there's a few.
go travel.
There's a few.
A few.
Playing professional basketball, you can travel.
I know.
Is that on the game plan for you, do you think?
Not as of right now. I was actually talking to Drew about it the other day because I was like, if I wasn't playing basketball, I would love to study abroad. And he's like, then why don't you go play overseas? And I was like, maybe. Who knows?
But
Again, I got time, right?
Right. You got time, but you'd also be the freshman all over again.
Goodness. Oh, boy.
Is basketball still the same fun you had when you were 10, 11, 12?
I don't know. I think it's starting to become fun again. Not that it wasn't fun last year. I just think it was very stressful to me and something that I put too much pressure on myself. But I don't know. I feel like as a kid, nothing mattered. Go out there, go run, and it'll all figure itself out. But I think it's starting to become fun again.
I certainly hope so. Because
Yes.
you put a lot of time in if it's not very fun. I'm pretty sure you're having a good time playing for this team and playing for the coaching staff that you're playing.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Today's Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. As the Vandals team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor cares for elite athletes, weekend warriors, and everyone in between. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. We are now joined by sophomore cross-country runner Alex Terry from Boise High School. Alex and the women's, along with the men's team, are headed to the regionals that will be Friday in Sacramento. Thanks for being here. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's the end of the cross-country season, so what's the feeling here? I mean, if you don't qualify, you got some time off on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. I think regionals is a fun meet because there's less pressure. I mean, unless you qualify, of course, and are aiming for that. But I think for our team, we really are just going to finish out the season, have a good time. Yeah.
Usually as the stakes raise, and the stakes are higher, last week was the Big Sky tournament, so that was a stakes raiser. Now the stakes, you say it's easier?
I think it's easier. I think conference, we care more about our place. And then here, I mean, obviously we want to do good, but it feels like there's less stakes for some reason.
So do you think that gives you the freedom to maybe run a little better? Like,
yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
I got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I think I always run better with a little less pressure, and which is funny.
Which is weird because it would seem the pressure would be greater because you're trying to get to the nationals.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, you have figured it out. That's for darn sure. Let me ask you, how did running figure into you being an athlete? I mean, there are all kinds of sports you can do and all kinds of things and individuals and teams. How is running your deal?
I mean, for me, I tried other sports. I started with Taekwondo, was my first sport I did, and I just didn't love it. I tried basketball, and my family, we moved to a new place, and I just needed like a community. And cross country was something my mom did, so she recommended me to go join the cross country team in junior high. And so I really just started running as a social, be with friends, have something to do after school, and ended up really loving it.
When did it change? When did it go from fun to I think I'm pretty good at this and I can do things?
Yeah, I mean, for a while I was on the JV team, and then eventually just over, a couple years of consistent training, I was finally doing better. And it was my junior year of track where I had like a big progression. I had been running 6-minute miles, and in that season I went down from that down to a 5:10 mile. And that was when my coach was like, would you ever consider running in college? And I hadn't until then. And yeah, from there on.
You took almost a minute off your mile time in a year?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how unusual that is?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, and I ask this question, I don't mean it to be mean or anything, because it's always fascinating the answer I get. Are you a cross-country runner who then runs track, or are you a track runner who kind of has to do cross-country because that's kind of what you do?
I mean, I started doing cross-country, so I'd say I'm a cross-country runner who did track, but then because track was my year where I really got better, I just love track more, I think. Like, the energy in the races is more fun. But, since coming to college, I think cross-country has been so much fun. And I identify more as a cross-country runner because it feels more unique and less people are involved in it. So I'm a cross-country runner that does track in the spring.
Have you ever done a road race?
I haven't, no.
Is that something that's on your horizon? I know you're only a sophomore. Would you think about doing that?
I would think about doing that for sure, especially after college. I think that might be the next step, is going to half marathons, maybe the marathon. Yeah.
When did you decide, you said that the coach talked about, your high school coach, about maybe running in college. When did that become a reality for you? Was there a day when you woke up and you said, I know I can do this? Or was it just kind of the gradual and like, okay, I'm too good to stop running, I just need to continue?
Yeah, well, it was definitely gradual. I kept getting better. Once that question was asked, then over time I just was thinking more and more about it, and that summer is when I started reaching out to coaches, just kind of playing with it, like, will this be something I want to do? And I connected to the coach here, who was Travis at the time, and visited and really liked the program. And then it really made sense once I got to visit and meet the team. And I was like, yeah, I do want to do this.
Did you send notes, letters, emails to coaches going, well, this will be interesting? Was it one of those kind of, I'm not really sure what I'm going to get back? Or did you kind of have an idea that, they're going to be interested in me?
I had my high school coach to help me connect to schools that would likely be interested in me. I did know, I went in with the expectation that they might not even respond, or they might just have one call with me, but it won't work. So it really was just asking the first question to then figure out. Yeah.
How many got back to you?
I only ended up reaching out to 3, and all of them did get back to me. And one of them was definitely less responsive.
Right.
And I had to do more of the work. And some of them were, like, Idaho was definitely the most, like, easy to talk to and more interested. And, yeah.
Was it easy to come to Idaho to run, being an Idaho native, or did that make it harder, do you think?
I think it did help, especially because my high school coach did know Travis. So that was honestly the biggest in, is that I didn't have the longest, like, record of being fast. Because, as I said, I had, like, my fast junior year, and then it's like I didn't show any consistency. So could they really rely on me being a good athlete? So having my coach to testify for me was very helpful in the recruiting process.
But you have been the most consistent runner on the women's team this year.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I mean, I think I can be a consistent person. It was just that year was not consistent in a good way, and I think from then I have had more consistent. I honestly don't know, because there have been times where, like, I get sick and then my season is very rocky and not very consistent.
Yeah.
But I think just the longer I've been running, the more I've learned how to absorb the training and stay consistent.
When you're in peak training, how many miles a week do you run?
50 to 55.
Okay, I'm not laughing. I mean, because the average person, that they don't drive that far in a week, and you're running that far in a week.
Yeah.
Where does your mind go when you run?
Ooh, good question. Anywhere. Depends on the day. Sometimes it's empty. Sometimes the whole time I'm thinking, wow, this sucks. I want to just run back home. And other times, yeah, you just get in a flow, and you might just have the occasional, like, that's interesting. Something I think is funny about running, and we talk about it on our runs, is how the most, like, minute, silly conversations can be so interesting because you're so distracted. And so we can just talk forever about the most random, useless things that wouldn't be interesting in a normal conversation otherwise.
Is it easier to train for cross country because it's road miles and it's different scenery than track when you're training for track because it's the same thing every lap?
Well, in track we also run, it's a similar training. You're still running outside everywhere else, and then just the workouts are more often on the track for track, which would make sense. But we still do train on the track in cross country. But we might go to, like, a grass field, and I honestly would so much rather run on the track than a grass field.
Okay,
so.
Okay. Well, and that's, because that's sometimes you're running on grass fields in cross country, right? You're running on a golf course or a park.
Yeah, usually.
That's not exactly tracks are smooth. There's no bumps there. So, that's, I guess, the average person who doesn't do what you do doesn't think about that. You're just out for a run. You're just running. But you got to make sure you know where you're going. When you go to Sacramento, have you raced there before?
We raced last conference.
Okay.
Track,
it's not an unfamiliar course to you. You have an idea.
The course is, I've never seen it. I ran track there, so I haven't seen the cross country course. Yeah.
So how difficult is that, or what things do you have to do differently when you're going to a place for the first time? Because a track is a track is a track is a track. Cross countries are all different.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, for Bozeman, we knew we were going to be higher elevation. We knew there was maybe some elevation gain in the course. But for this one, I think it's a grass track. It's just going to be flat. We're sea level, basically.
Right.
It's going to be warmer. So we definitely are taking in those considerations and saying it probably will be a good place to get a personal record.
How chilly was it in Bozeman 2 weeks
ago? It was not as bad as we thought it would be. It was about, like, 50 degrees when we raced.
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect racing weather.
Right. It's for a fun run for a family, 50 degrees is too cold, but for an athlete, it's great. All right, so now you're at Idaho as a runner, but you're also here as a student. What are you studying? Where does the student path lead for you?
I'm studying environmental science and biology, and I'm working on those both just to kind of keep my horizons broad. I don't know what my niche is going to be yet, but
how did you pick that general area?
Well, I started with just environmental science. Obviously, I love the outdoors, and as a kid I was always so interested in animals, and so that direction seemed to just be clear to me, as I wanted to be in the sciences, and who doesn't love the environment, I guess.
Right. So adding the biology, does that mean you want to teach? Does that mean you want to – I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do with those degrees.
It means I'm more interested in research, and I think that'll give me more of the science background that I want.
So you said you were the kid off picking flowers at the soccer and those kind of things?
Finding worms and chasing the other kids with it. Yeah.
Well, then it's perfect. You picked the perfect thing. Do you have expectations for this weekend, or as we talked about before, there's no pressure, so I don't have any expectations. I'm just there to run as well as I can.
I mean, I definitely create my own expectations for myself. I want to place better in the regionals than I did last year, and we haven't raced a 6K yet this season, so I'm really hoping I can get a new 6K PR, and I expect that I can. So there is a little bit of that pressure, but it's all internal from myself this time.
Yeah. Because there's no pressure, right?
Yeah, we're not trying to place high in the big sky, so yeah.
What would qualifying for nationals mean to you?
I mean, that would be amazing. I hope it feels a little out of my reach this year, but I think like over time, like it'd be definitely something that would
but every time
be
you
a big goal.
Every time you get on a course, there's always that chance.
There is always that chance.
Can you tell before you take off if you're going to have a good day or a bad day?
Yes and no, because there's a lot of times where I'm on the race line and it's like I don't feel good. I'm like, this is probably going to suck, and then I have the best race of my life. So, and there's times where I'm like super happy and confident, and something happens and it just does not go well. So
all right. So Friday in Sacramento, I hope you're standing on the start line. You don't feel great, and you're telling yourself this is going to suck.
Yep.
Okay. Then we know you're going to have a great day. Alex Terry from the women's cross country team, both the men and the women, will be in Sacramento coming up on Friday for the regional meet, trying to qualify for the nationals. Alex, thanks for the time. Thanks for sharing your story. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, appreciate you.
This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. When he's not caring for the Vandals as team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor provides the same MVP orthopedic care to our entire region. At Inland Orthopedics, our team is your team. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. We are now joined by the University of Idaho's swim team, Marie Mason, who picked up the Swimmer of the Week in the conference. How cool. First of all, thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
How cool was that?
It was awesome. It was not something I was expecting to happen at all, so it was kind of a crazy weekend and, like, super exciting.
When you finished your last event, was there even a split second you thought, maybe I might win a conference Swimmer of the Week?
I kind of did think about it a little bit, like after the weekend. I had a pretty cool 1,000 swim, and I knew it was kind of up there for this early in the year to have that fast of a time. So I thought about it a little bit, but I was like, nah, that couldn't happen. Like, there's so many good people in our conference. But it was really cool to see on, I think it was like Monday or Tuesday morning when that came out.
Yeah, and that's like, congratulations. Now get back into the pool and take another 2 seconds off your time, right?
Yeah, keep going. We got to keep training.
Yeah. Is there any time where you guys aren't in the pool training during the year?
We get about 2 weeks off.
2 weeks. Okay.
2 weeks off after our conference championships in March.
Okay.
And then we get to kind of like chill out for the summer a little bit. We don't train quite as hard, but we still definitely are training and competing all summer.
Yeah. I mean, most kids jump into the pool to have fun. Okay. You jump in the pool to go to work.
Yes.
How did you transition from the fun to work? Or maybe it's still fun and it's work too. When did it become just hanging out with the kids in the neighborhood to, I want to do this and I want to do this fast?
Yeah, I think it's definitely still a lot of fun. I think going to practice every day and hanging out with my friends is still so much fun. I would say when I was like 13, 15 is when I started getting really competitive in the sport, and like, instead of going to practice just to hang out and play around with my friends, it was to work and train and get better.
The Portland, Oregon area has a really good high school swim program. A lot of schools in the area have high school swim teams. Do you think that helped make that transition from just hanging out in the water to let's go fast?
Yeah, I went to a really small high school, so I had a unique high school swim experience. I didn't swim against any of the Portland high schools. I mainly competed against Eastern Oregon and Southern Oregon teams. So that was really interesting and cool to me. I got to travel all over the state for high school swimming, which I think is really cool and not a lot of high school swimmers get to do. I think it definitely did teach me a lot about college swimming too, and like the dual meet aspect, and you're swimming every weekend or other weekend and like working hard and racing every week versus like our club aspect. We definitely don't race as much.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite pool in high school?
Ooh, I really like the Tualatin Hills Aquatic Center.
Okay.
It's really big.
Okay. Did you have a pool that you hated?
Not exactly. There was a couple really small community pools in Oregon, and they would be really warm. And that creates some challenges.
Well, and that's something that people don't understand. The temperature of a recreational pool is completely different than the temperature of a a racing pool, right?
Oh, yeah. It's way different. If someone was to like jump in a racing pool to just have fun, they would be shivering the entire time.
How did that take a while to get used to, you think?
Yeah, and then now when I go back and I try to train in like a community recreational pool, I'm like so hot the whole time.
I noticed there's a break in your schedule between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Yes.
So you're not here. Well, you're here for a little bit, but then there's a break for school. So where are you guys training?
We get to go home for Thanksgiving for a week, and we train with our club teams at home. And then we come back and we get a week off, a little over a week for Christmas. And then we're back December, I think it's 27th. And we train here even though school's not going on until school starts back up.
How weird was that the first time that you came back and like, the basketball players are here and pretty much nobody else? How weird was that?
That was crazy. I got front row parking every single day, which was crazy. But it was really interesting to not see very many people on campus because we still were on campus, and I was living in the dorms at that time and like walking to practice and you wouldn't see anybody. So that was kind of crazy.
A little weird, huh?
Yeah.
Little interesting. How obviously you're athletic. How did swimming become your sport?
This is actually a funny story. My parents had me in t-ball, and I got hit in the face with a ball, and I said, no more. You need to find me something different that does not involve something coming at my face. So my dad had swam in high school, and he's like, oh, maybe try this. It'll be fun. And I loved it. I fell in love with it right away and just took off from there.
So there wasn't – because everybody I've had on this said, yeah, I started with soccer when I was 5. Did you have the soccer thing in there?
I tried for about a year, and I did not like it. I was the kid over in the side picking the flowers the entire time.
Why do you think swimming was your deal?
I don't know. I enjoy it. It's so different than everything else that I've done and everything else you do in your normal day. And I think I really enjoy that about it.
It's a team sport, but it's an individual sport. How do you mesh those two together?
Yeah, I love the team aspect of it and the individual aspect. I think being able to support your friends and their races and like their moment is amazing, and being able to have your moment and their moment and then our moment together and getting to race all together is also so much fun.
You know, one of the things and swimmers swim so many different events, but I always ask a swimmer, if you could only pick one, what's your one? And you took the mile.
I did.
Okay, that's a little bit. I would think, most people go, I'll do 50 free. That's over in like seconds. But you're out there for a while. Why the mile for you?
I think it gives you so much time to have different strategy, and like it employs so much more strategy than any other event, I think, and getting to like decide when you want to like pick up your tempo or your effort at different points in the race and try to make your move is what they call it, and really win that race at a certain time. I think that's super fun.
So it's always interesting, you're in the pool. You're doing the same thing. It's this stroke after stroke after stroke. What's going through your head?
A little bit. I'm looking at other people. I'm looking at my coach. We have lap counters, so I'm looking at the lap counter. Like, I like to do the math and figure out how many more yards I have to go, how long really. And then in practice, I do a lot of singing in my head.
Really? What's on the playlist?
Anything that's playing in the pool at that time. It's like you hear a couple words and it's like stuck in your head for the next 5 minutes while you're swimming.
Do you think that helps you?
I think it does. You can like swim to the beat a little bit and like takes your mind off swimming a little bit. It's kind of fun.
So a normal training day for you, since you're a distance swimmer, how much do you swim?
I think it varies a lot depending on the day, but like our distance practices are probably around 6,000 yards-ish, 6,000 yards. So I swim anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 yards a day.
Which is how many miles?
Oh, I don't know.
A lot?
A lot. Over 5.
Yeah. That's got to take a lot of, physical stamina, but it's got to be a lot of mental stamina too. I mean, that's knowing that you're going to have to go in the pool every day and do that. That had to be something you had to build up, right?
Yeah, it definitely. I did not start doing this like at a certain point. We definitely built up a lot, and as the years go on, you can add a little bit more here and there. And then like when you start adding doubles, that's another thing, but you slowly build up your doubles and you get to the point where it's kind of like automatic and you're like, oh yes, I'm going to go do this. And it becomes fun to go do this even though it's 6 a.m.
Yeah. And that's the other thing people don't understand is swimmers have the earliest practice of anybody.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask a coach why we swim at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning and not 3 in the afternoon?
I have no idea. We do both.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's just because swimmers are crazy. That's yeah. Let me ask you about what's the longest you've ever swam?
Like straight?
Yeah, like not taking a break, like, it could be in a pool, it can be in a lake, it can be it can be anywhere you want. What's the longest stretch you've ever gone?
The 5K, when we did our open water 5K last year, was the longest I'd ever swam straight.
Right.
So that was.
What was that like? And that's not only a little over 2, almost 3 miles, but out in the open water.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was way different than anything I'd ever done. I'd done a little bit of open water like practices with my club team back home when I was in high school, but it was a crazy experience to be in this little lake kind of situation with like 70 other people, and people don't realize it's a contact sport.
Right.
Like there's people throwing elbows, kicking you in the face, and you're swimming through all this stuff. So that was the first year I did it was a big learning curve, I'd say.
Did you like that, or is pool swimming your deal, not outdoor swimming or open water swimming?
I liked it. I think I like pool swimming better, but it's a lot of fun to go do something different.
Yeah.
And try something new for a change, I'd say.
A lot of people say they would never do a triathlon because the swimming is the hardest part. I got to believe that's the easiest part for you. Would you ever think about doing one of those?
I really do not like running, so maybe not. I'm the opposite.
Okay, that's fine. It seems like you have the hardest part done, but if you don't like running, I completely understand that. All right. So swimming is, you can swim forever, but you can't compete forever. So when your competitive days are over, what do you want to do?
I'm currently a pre-vet major, so I really want to go into veterinary medicine and work in the agriculture industry.
How did that hit you?
I grew up on a farm, so I have been involved in the agriculture industry my entire life. I showed cows for 8 years. We raised some beef cattle, stuff like that, and then I was heavily involved in FFA in high school, and so I think that really drove me to look into vet med.
Yeah, well, that's obviously, right?
Yeah.
You're around animals, farm animals, your entire life. Why wouldn't you do that, right?
I really love it, yeah, and getting to take care of animals is super cool to me.
How did you pick Idaho? Was school part of the process of saying that's a good place for me to learn what I want to do, but also swim?
Yeah, definitely. When I took my visit here, I got to meet the dean of my college actually, and he took me on a tour of all of the farms here, and I fell in love immediately. I thought it was so cool, and to see all the different research that's going on with agriculture and animals here, I thought that was amazing.
Mark Soa, your head coach, is one of my favorite people just to talk to, not interview, just to sit down and talk to. What's it like to swim for him?
Oh, I love it. I think he is an amazing coach and super supportive. I love that he always supports everybody, no matter what direction or what they're facing at the time. And I think it's so much fun.
You told me you've never done an interview here at the University of Idaho.
I have not.
Well, how come you're so good at it?
I did a lot of FFA in high school, so I've done a lot of public speaking.
Okay, so you're the one athlete who's not afraid to public speak here.
No, I've done a lot of public speaking competitions. I even traveled to Indiana to do a public speaking competition at nationals with a team about an agriculture issue topic.
Wow. Okay. So good. Do you want to do the podcast next week for me? You want to ask questions instead of answer questions? No?
I'm okay. I'll let you. I feel like you're the expert here.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on the podcast. Marie Mason, the Swimmer of the Week for the conference. Congratulations on that award. Continued success. Enjoy these short breaks that you do get this season, and we appreciate you coming on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
That's going to do it for this week's Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. Thanks to all of our guests. Don't forget to join us every Tuesday night for more Vandals talk from the Idaho Vandal Coaches Show, live from 42 Bar Kitchen, Tuesday at 7 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Mountain Time on the Idaho Vandal Radio Network. I'm Dennis Patchin saying thanks for listening. We'll see you next week for another edition of the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast.
This has been the Vandal Insider Podcast, presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Get the latest information on University of Idaho athletics you won't find anywhere else with the Vandal Insider Podcast. From in-depth conversations to game previews, the Vandal Insider is every fan's source for all things Idaho athletics.